Nipsey Hussle's convicted killer Eric Holder has been sentenced to 60 years to life in prison after being found guilty of murdering the hip hop artist back on March 31st, 2019, outside of his Marathon clothing store in Los Angeles. Now, this is breaking news and it's just coming out. He was found guilty months ago for first-degree murder of the rapper Nipsey Hussle, and he gunned him down in broad daylight in 2019. The rapper was shot multiple times and he died on the scene. And from there, of course, there was a trial that took heed and he was found guilty of first-degree murder. Eric Holder is currently 33 years old, which means he will not be able to be released until he's about 90, which more than likely will be his entire life. He will be in prison. I don't see him seeing the light of day. There's no information stating that he has an option of being placed on parole. This is a solid 60 years in prison. He is 33 years old, as I stated before, and he has to serve the full 60 years, which means he won't be able to be released until he's 93 if he survives that long. Now, let me just read this excerpt from TMZ. It said, Holder gunned down Nipsey Hussle in broad daylight back in 2019, and the brutal details were outlined at the trial, with prosecutors telling the jury Holder kicked Nipsey in the head after riddling his body with bullets, claiming it was proof the attack was personal. Deputy District Attorney John McKinney then told the jury Holder told Nipsey, "You're through," to which the rapper replied, "You got me." Holder allegedly also shot two other people while committing Nipsey's murder, and he was also found guilty of 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter, 2 counts of assault with a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a felon. So this is the information we have here. And, I'm happy that Nipsey Hussle now has justice. This is a very rare occurrence when it comes to hip-hop artists being murdered. Most of the time when an artist is killed, it is often an unsolved murder. Like we have the murders of Tupac, Shakur, and Biggie Smalls that still has not been solved. And it's been nearly 30 years since both of those MCs were murdered. And we have a slew, a slew, probably over 100 hip-hop artists that have been murdered since the death of Tupac and Biggie that are currently unsolved murders, from the biggest spectrum of mainstream to the lowest spectrum of basically independent to nearly unknown. A lot of hip hop artists have been murdered, especially, I want to say, within the past 10 years or so, just a series of hip hop artists being murdered. And unfortunately, there has been no arrest. So Nipsey Hussle is one of very few rappers who have received justice, or the alleged killer that was involved in his murder was convicted, fully convicted, and punished by the law and sentenced to basically life in prison. Now, share your thoughts about this. It's so unfortunate what happened to Nipsey Hussle. He was a really, really amazing man, and he was trying to build up his community, not as a hip hop artist, but as an entrepreneur. He really used his music to really help expand his overall brands and really create opportunities for the less fortunate in his community. And for him to be shot down like this at such a very, very young age, only in his 30s when he passed away, it was just so unnecessary and very, very sad. So I'm definitely sending my prayers out to his entire family, Nipsey Hussle's family. I know this has to be a bit of a sigh of relief or some type of closure, even though I know they will never be able to go back to the same since they lost him. But, I'm just happy that the family can finally find some closure, knowing that the individual who was allegedly responsible for this murder is now behind bars for pretty much life. So please share your thoughts about this breaking news in regards to Nipsey Hussle's killer being sentenced to 60 years in prison after being convicted of Nipsey Hussle's murder back in 2019, March 31st. So please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. This is the DJ Erica podcast, where I talk about entertainment news, world news, and gossip. If you guys want to hear my full hour-long podcast, that is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and much, much more. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Much love. Peace.